So, as usual, we will begin the session by closing our eyes for around 10 minutes. I want you guys to realize the shift in the sensation after you bring your attention back to yourself and after you hold it for the first few seconds. You find that after a few deep breaths, going down, releasing all the muscle tension, relaxing, you are entirely in a different state, a one that is nice, soft, and gentle. More nice, more soft, more nuanced than perhaps the one we just started with. And you see, even though that throughout our life, we have always been in multiple occasions sat down with our eyes closed, but when it comes to mindfulness practice, it feels a lot different. The key ingredient that differentiate between the two is mindfulness that comes from ordering the mind to be aware of oneself or an object of their choosing. I want you guys to be aware, but also give that realization the importance that the calmness, peacefulness can easily be granted just by slowing down and bringing the mind, your attention back to yourself. Although not perfect, but it is as like a door, the beginning, the first step toward peace and stillness. This is where we can make the decision to renounce all other thoughts relating to other people, things, beings, other stories about work, life, family, studies, and anything beyond that one, including about yourself too. Only if we give those things importance, then they have the weight to pull away your attention. But if you let go, truly put things aside, take away their importance, their weight temporarily, you are allowing the mind to empty space, free from those entanglements, those shackles. So let go just for now. Now that we have given time for ourselves, we can gently open up our eyes.
I was just wondering where William happened to be. So I checked if there were any messages in the chat.
Where who happened to be?
William?
Oh, William. Oh, I think he disconnected.
Yeah, but he disconnected very, very much in the beginning of the meditation. So if he wanted to come back, he would have been back by now.
Oh, I think it happened yesterday too. He was here and then he disconnected. How are you, Marcus? How have your practice been going? How's life been going?
um, I told Carmen this morning that the last 3 days of compassion meditation were really hard, and I was no so with so much fun today. And when I started the meditation today, it was about self and self and
Like when you're really overwhelmed with your feelings. I don't know if you can hear me actually.
I was overwhelmed, and it was the right meditation for today. So it was very, very good. And I was very positive, surprised by this serious 3 days, which made me more thinking every day. And today it was quite the right meditation for today. And yes, yesterday it was about empathy, and my my I saw that one of my problems is to have too much empathy, and I'm not able um, to uh, to distance myself from bad bad feelings around, bad emotions around me, when I'm not able to take them. My empathy overwhelms me with bad emotions when I'm not able to take them. So and today that was an underlining for this um, understanding.
Um, if I heard you correctly, you said that you have a difficult time with empathy. Yes. a- From also receiving, not good at receiving other people's feelings too.
Like when you hear of people who are very poor or starving, something like that, and then you feel really, really bad you're like, oh no, they're so poor, and this and then there's like this feeling that overwhelms you because someone else is not feeling well, or someone else is with a bad thought, a bad mindset, and you can't distance yourself from it. So no matter what happens around, it's like you feel overwhelmed because you have empathy with the people who are suffering.
Oh, that's a really interesting topic. Empathy means the ability to understand and share the feelings of other. Uh, mm, uh, I think it reminds me of what most people understood as empathy. To empathize with someone, maybe, you know, crying with them, laughing with them, sharing with them, um, share the laughters and the tear. I think those are the pictures comes up for most people when they talk about empathy. But then it takes away the key point of understanding. Understanding doesn't necessarily mean one have to then become the other person. One doesn't have to then become the emotion that the other person has. Understanding is purely wisdom, able to then relate. Because because one know the flavor, the taste of agonies and suffering. And because one know the experiences that the other person is going through. Because one know, that's the keyword, one can have empathy, meaning understanding of others' feeling, which is different from what I think most people understand it as becoming on the same boat as. Empathy. Mm, empathizing with someone. Empathy is a positive and good state of mind because able to then help you understand, and also the good nature instinct can then with that empathy tells you to help to aid to bring other feelings up like compassion or understanding. But empathy in the wrong way, mm, the wrong way means that not it's not a real empathy but a false one, a misunderstood one that you have to then become the pain itself. The empathy that comes from understanding elevate you, force you to do something better, something good. For example, you empathize with someone who have no money in their pocket and have to then decide, am I gonna have money to eat today or save money for tomorrow or this or that? Because that understanding, generosity can come in not to then provide value and benefit to yourself and other people. When you see, understand someone going through some tough time, generosity, compassion, loving kindness can come in to help that person in the ways that you are able to, given the circumstances. And maybe bring them some blanket, give them some comfort. It's a tool used by the good to elevate, not to bring it up. But the empathy that most people have is the opposite. Once arises this thing that is not a real true empathy, push and pull, degrade the person who has it. Degrades them, justifying, using the knowledge, using the understanding as a justification to make people feel sad and negative. The result then the result is that the person who has this feeling generates as it comes generate more and more negative energy, more and more and more and more. It rarely leads to something good or beneficial without at least first degrading the person. I have to cry, have to this, have to that first, have to uh, gain the negative consequences first before then after that episode is done, then the good conscience come in to do something good. Even when people have that argument, they say, oh, by me crying, I can help other people. That's not true. You cry first, you hurt yourself first, and then from when the negative pressure goes away, then the true understanding, the true empathy comes in. But the true empathy doesn't require the pain to be the prerequisite or something that comes first. But that is only when the right empathy comes afterward. For most people, it doesn't come. Now they feel sad and they don't do anything afterward, meaning therefore just destroying themselves for free without no further action. Empathy requires two things: and wisdom, right view. Right view not only on the surface, but right understanding of the reason behind it too. Only then will equanimity or neutrality comes in. When neutrality and equanimity comes in, no matter how negative it might feel, you are not wavered by it. For example, a child might be crying in the embrace of his mother, for example. Other people with the wrong understanding of empathy might then see the child and maybe the mother crying too and feel sad, mimic. And even when they know of the reason why the child and the mother is crying, it even pulls their mind further down. If the person have a good nature inside of them, maybe after the sadness episode ends, they will do something good out of it. But that's a if. But if you were to understand the reason behind it, how those events came to be, what is the rhyme reason behind it, what are the mechanism, the whole entire picture, then there's no other feeling but the acceptance of this is how things should be, given all the evidence, the pattern, the statistic, leading up to this point is how it should be. That wisdom help with equanimity, not being pulled down by it. Now that you're not wavered, not wavered, but still clear-minded, a compassion, loving kindness, generosity can then take that opportunity to then elevate you and other person too. the way to fix the wrong kind of empathy is solely by right view and wisdom. Two things, right view and wisdom. Wisdom or knowledge about how those things, how it came to be, how those events came to be. Having the right view about it, understanding about it, equanimity comes up naturally too. Even if it doesn't, then one have to then implement it themselves, so that one can then have the strength, the control of one's mind and one body to then be generous, be kind, be giving, do the right cause to help them like you wanted to. Which is a stark difference with the wrong empathy, which doesn't focus on the cause to help them, but only the fact that it is sad, it is this, it is that. And then the outcome, no change happen. But worse, you even get drawn down by it. Some people have such a wrong view that they now neglect people who needed help because they don't know how to deal with being pulled down. Oh, sad people pull me down so much, then I don't want to be anywhere near sad people. Because one don't know how to deal with that inside. Closing out all opportunity to bring value and benefit to yourself and to other people too, when they need them. So this is the danger of having the wrong empathy here. Mm. So yeah, understanding that is what empathy is, just understanding. Even in English dictionary, it just say the ability to understand and share of others and share the feelings of others. Empathy doesn't talk about mimicking the feeling. That's not anything, just pure understanding. Mm. All right.
Thank you.
Could I add to
Yes,
that
please,
based on
William.
my own experience? Well, this is something I missed the first part of your question, Marcus. Sorry. Sometimes I get kicked from the call during the meditation, and then suddenly I wake up meditating. I'm like, oh no, and I join the call again. But from my experience, sometimes in my case, due to what I thought when I was younger was an overreactive level of empathy, was my sort of inability to set kind of like an emotional boundary, where I think was maybe because of my upbringing or something, I felt the need to bring on people's emotions, or maybe it just naturally occurred and I thought that was a normal thing. And that could become overwhelming for me. So then eventually, like Jimmy would talked about, I would kind of got to this place where I was like, no, nothing, to protect myself. Um, but I think when you kind of practice setting emotional boundaries where you're going, this is not me that's experiencing this. This person is experiencing this. And in my case, I was more able to, how can I say, not take these feelings on myself in a way that for me made it almost a little bit about myself, but instead looking at them and just watching them with sort of a, it's not exactly pity. It's more like a understanding of the human experiencing something difficult and knowing that they're going to be okay, but understanding that it's difficult. So I just mean to say that I can understand and empathize with you about that issue, that difficulty of handling deeper emotions in other people and finding my place in that and setting the right boundaries. So
Yeah, it's not something to look likely, because it's not that only you personally too, I've been there too. Understand the wrong way of empathy, especially when someone close to you or something like that. Now it's very easy to that to end this topic is that your bad nature, now the bad nature inside people, then use the subject matter as a excuse to enable the sad feeling or the bad feeling. That's it. Excuse to then allow it to happen. So that's the entire key point of the whole discussion here. So therefore, we won't allow the bad nature inside us to use that topic to degrade us, but we will allow the good nature to use that topic and see how can we help, how can we provide, and elevate if possible. Now, if not, then no problem. Now, if not, then with one reason we say it cannot be done at the moment, given this and that. So there's no reason to be sad too for that one. Okay. Anyone have other questions? That was a very good one.
I wonder if I could expand on this issue and ask about the concept of just emotions in general, because while empathizing with other people, often we may sometimes bring upon their emotions, and especially maybe some delicious negative ones, I can say. Like, for example, here in South Korea, maybe in the 10 years ago when I first arrived, it was very typical to go to any cafe and you would hear the most heart-wrenching, sad ballad song. And Koreans love terrible breakup, sad songs. They love it. They love that sad feeling. They love that feeling. And I think one thing I've realized about myself is I love that too. I mean, I think sometimes we love to feel bad. We love that, and it becomes kind of this drug where we enjoy to drink that in. And I had to learn not to do that by myself, but I wonder if we could just talk about emotions in general and how emotions can take over. I don't know how to say it exactly, but yeah.
It starts from needing to realize and understand the thing that governs and propel us forward. Not two things, govern and propel. Thought and emotion, two things, thought, information, and emotion are what not only governs but also acts like an agent to propel us. It can be anything. People move forward with hope, with desire, with aversion, with love, with generosity, everything. These are the engine, a cycle in which once arises, thought, emotion once arises, run, push you forward in a way. Why? It's because emotion can only set in if there's energy to it. I say move with generosity, so you move with positive energy. I move with anger, so that anger, that negative energy, that is what moves you forward. Now, what makes this slap so hard? Because the more anger you are, the more harder it slaps, physically speaking. So you see, it's about energy, which comes from thought and emotion that comes together. Now, these thought and emotion have a simple dynamic. Thought is simply just information. But this information is not potent, not interesting, not intriguing if there's no flavor to it. And emotion is the glue that affixes you to that information, make it flavorful. You see beautiful people. If you're not in the mood because you're sick, for example, then just regular dude. But if you're not sick and you have a liking to that person, then a regular person becomes a special person. Even if you look at your spouse, for example, now she might be pretty today, but then when you fight, now she might not be pretty anymore, even though it's the same exterior. So you see, it's the emotion. Now that we know thought and emotion can bring up energy, depending good and bad, depending on the type of thought and emotion. Why I said that people love so much to like William said, indulge in these stuff because of one word, nah? Happiness. Happiness here doesn't mean true happiness, but satisfaction. There's happiness that is good, happiness that is bad, and happiness that's not good, not bad. People not knowing and not understanding that strive for happiness in any which way they want. Just because life is just full of things that they have to endure, not pain and endure in family, friends, whatever it is. We talk about sweetness, not sweetness of that sorrowful music. It's sweet because that sweet is that happiness, satisfaction. But it is just a honey that glues you to a strong negative feeling. And as you go and allow it to express itself and live inside of you, nah, every passing moment it builds up negative energy, not knowing it, nah, more and more and more. And it's the sweet honey that glues you to the music, to this, to that. So therefore, why when we choose for happiness, have to be really, really careful to what kind of happiness, because not all happiness give different outcome. Good outcome, bad outcome, not and one those are neither good nor bad. Mm. Now, in the minds of people when they hear sad music, now in their head accompanied by a movie of some sort, a drama in their head, whatever character it might be, whatever uh, setting like a movie, and that music is just a honey emotion that affixed to it, and people then become drunk in those false sweetness, like alcohol, for example, something like that, right? So it's wise of you to realize that and see, hey, not all kind of happiness give positive results. So even now, coming here to meditate, or even our life, journeying in the journey of you know, self-development and mindfulness, we find that the type of happiness is not the one that can easily be found by the pleasure of the five senses. Those things are nice, the thing that you see, you hear, smell, you touch, you taste, nice, and it's rewarding, but it's just build up that feeling. Whereas this one, closing your eyes, feeling safe, warmth, calm, is a happiness that doesn't bring any consequence. It might not be as lavish in the beginning, but it is rejuvenating. It's what people strive for when they go to vacation. And they don't heal by party, they heal by these rejuvenating kind of happiness. The only thing that the happiness, or better term, the pleasure that comes from the five senses is just to build up the feeling like a balloon. Build, and then once you always run for more and more and more until then it takes over your accent. Oh, sorry, more and more. The more you want, the more you expend, find the money for it. And when one day you no longer have the money, no, sorry, while you are craving for that happiness, you have to struggle every day through and through to find that happiness. When you have enough money, you purchase it. It's a one-time consume. You get that high off, and the cycle repeats. Imagine eventually, something happen in your life, someone die, a recession, or whatever it is, then you no longer have access to that beautiful honey pot. This big attachment, this big false happiness or satisfaction that build up the feeling. Now the bubble then bursts. Then you swing to the other side. No, oh, I miss my friend. I miss everything. I miss my comfy life. I miss this, miss that, miss everything. Meaning those have happiness and those have pressure it's not without consequence, not without strings attached. So it's imperfect. Because wise people in the past, like the Buddha, for example, he sees this and said, "Oh, this one is imperfect. So how can I then find a better, a more perfect kind of happiness?" Mm. Of course, we are not talking about the happiness through stealing, the thrill of stealing, thrill of harming, thrill of the bad stuff. That is common sense already. So yeah, this the key word there is happiness. Now the key point is that without being wise on what we consume, the happiness that people want, without being wise and knowing the consequence, people just suck anything up as long as it satisfies them. Did I answer your question, William? Hopefully. Okay. Anyone have any further questions? Yes. And you know how I know, because I'm more attached to this microphone than the other one. It's white and it's nice looking. So yeah, it's pretty nice. So I need to remind myself not to get too attached. Nah. Even the joy of consuming new product. If one day something happened to it, there's some kind of scar or whatever it is, then that happiness then turns, just swing it around. So when you see the consequences become like alcohol, like should I consume it knowing full well the consequence? All right. It's great that this question comes up, because the thing is, everyone, they are nice people on the inside, and they really are. Why is that a statement that I made? Even if, because deep down, deep down, even though they might deny it, but deep down, only they know that suffering sucks. It doesn't feel nice. They want to be happy. They want to be free from suffering. That thought alone want to help you be free, help myself be free. I want to be a better person. I don't want to be bad. All these kind of thoughts. It's a thought only present in truly good people inside, even if they only think about themselves. But of course, now they are the ones suffering. So it starts from there first. But that alone, that intention alone, is signaling enough that inside are good. But because of misguidance or misunderstanding, not from the bad nature, always looking for the easy way out, how much it suffers or the limitation, they can't help but then through that misguidance, misunderstanding, or unknown, they put themselves in the negative cycle, that the more they involve in, it doesn't leave them anywhere but further down. So therefore, it is important not only for us to learn something like this, but also to teach other people too. Mm. It's not, if you have a chance to talk to a lot of people, like we do in this class, or in the monastery, you know that the question that they ask, give it a year or two, not just give it like a month. You'll see that the question that they ask doesn't go beyond a few things, not a few key theme, key like a path, key yeah, a few questions. Regardless of who they are, where they're from, their occupation, their orientation, their education, their financial status, regardless of all labels, meaning that if you find this helpful to you, it will definitely be helpful for everyone. everyone that wants to listen, wants to study, want to learn. Now, and it will be a gift for yourself as you have the time, the opportunity to not only give something nice to other people, but nice to yourself too. Nah? That act of generosity, of using your wisdom, allow only that it already bring up positive energy, but you also are revising what you know, making a deeper understanding of it, cracking the code, finding ways to truly change people. Because if my word doesn't change other people, then what's the point, right? When people ask for help, they're looking for results, and if the wisdom that given doesn't produce the result, then for what, correct? So therefore, then now that we have members in our family, our friend in our life, who inevitably will come to you, directly or indirectly, where opportunity to help them, to elevate them, to free them from their pain and suffering are present right in front of you. Now the question is, are we able to or not? It seems like but the burden is on us, but actually no, the burden is not on you. You see, what changes you, or what changes everyone here, including myself, it's not the teacher. The teacher is the one who just holds the teaching, but it's the teaching itself. You can read what I said on the wall, and the wall can be a teacher. Now you can hear the exact word thing that we just gone through, but from someone else, the same outcome. If you have faith and trust in that person. So it's the information, the key vital information that changes people, and that's why we should have the key information that not only help yourself, allow you to unlock something inside your head. Understand, you also unlock it to other people too. And so, therefore, the benefit of sharing, of teaching, is there's no downfall. It's a win-win, win-win for all parties. Mm. ครับ Right. We have 8 more minutes left. Oh. Mm. In our life, we mostly have double standard. I'm not talking about double standard of other people. That's true, but double standard on yourself, in a good way and a bad way. When we make a judgment of what's right, what's wrong, when we give advice, when you give a judgment advice to a kid, for example, everyone knows what's right, what's wrong, what to do, what not to do. But when it comes to speaking to adult, that judgment, that clear-cut judgment, for some reason, they say, "Oh, up to you." Nice gray zone. Even though deep down you know, if it's the kid, then you can tell right away why yes, why no, why right, why wrong. The reason is there. Now, to other people, to also to yourself too, managing a kid, it's like managing a company. Managing a project. The project can be a kid outside or can be your own self. A project can be a company too. When we are managing other a kid is like a CEO of his or her own life, where because there's a kid have not enough wisdom to think on their own behalf, so therefore the advisor that is you holds all the power. You tell them to do this, they will do it if there's a nice kid. If they become naughty, then they will do the opposite. But the advisor, that's why a great guardian, a great parent is a must to teach the children, because the power is on them, that the children have not enough wisdom to articulate for themselves. But in a company, you as the boss, as the project manager, you hold the authority to say yes, say no, say go left, go right. Because you have the authority, if the company fails, now it's on your head, on you, because you are the one who made that decision, not the advisor. Advisor are the one who just talk, but you make the decision. And we know that not only that is important, but also the advice of the advisor, we have to be wise to know what is right, what is wrong. Advisor can say whatever they want, no, but they are not all correct. No, but if you accept them, the blame is onto you. No? When we look back at ourselves, we see that there are three advisors in our side of us, easily categorized by their goal. No? We call them good, bad, not good, and bad instincts or nature. Why? Because in three instinct, because they are separated by their nature. Good, meaning everything that is nice, wholesome, prosperous, beautiful, wonderful, wholesome. Bad is the entire opposite, nasty, destructive, unwholesome, uh, corruption, all these negative stuff. That as you follow through, being upon suffering, disaster, and the advisor that is neither good nor bad. We have to decide. You are the final call of to do, not to do. William's question about the music. You, as a project manager for yourself, is it a right call, a wise call to put those nasty things in your own system or not? Even if the populace is popular to do, but is it wise? The voice inside your head might say, "Oh, it's okay, nah. People keep doing it. You can do so. It's okay." But that is the lack of wisdom to make a judgment against the negative, the bad advice or bad instinct. Not the blame is onto you because you are not able to be wise enough. Wisdom very important. The thing is, in front of us, we have good advisor too. And as we go through it, then our life get better. But we have to know clearly who's talking, the bad one or the good one. And also not gonna bad too, right? We don't want our company to stagnate. Now we want it to grow quarter by quarter, day by day, week by week. So we have to then decide, renounce the bad, renounce the not gonna bad, and also always choose the good, but be wise enough to differentiate. And what is the best way to then help the company grow the best? Every management or everyone knows that a great system in a company, how the company is managed, how it works systematically, just about the system. Like IT, for example, doesn't go beyond system. A great in IT infrastructure makes everything nice and easy. A great company infrastructure or system makes everything nice and great. And we build that for the company. We build that for people who want to be better. Now that's program, but we never build them up for ourselves. Even worse, you don't even have to build. There are programs, but you didn't even put yourself in those programs. The company, if I were to build a company and fetch new company, I don't have any system, but there's already amazing system, the infrastructure outside, many services. I can just invite them to install it in my place, in my company. That's it. Now, it means that I'm bringing my company into a system, right? Into the industry. And with that, the valuation of my company grows. But we fail to do it with ourselves. So therefore, you see, that's a secret. And if the company fails, It's because the management is running the company down, and then not only that, but it is the error, is the negligence on the it is the communist running the negative system or bad system that runs the company to the ground. Now, bad infrastructure, bad management, bad this, bad that. That's why when the company have to regrow or have to then after like a loss or something, they have to reshuffle. What they're doing, they are rewriting the system. Now rewriting the system again, because this system doesn't work. It means now the outcome shows. That's why to rewrite. So we know this full well, right? So we have to then apply to ourselves too.